Hello, tonight Inside Out is at Rothley in Leicestershire to ask who are the Madeline Foundation. The missing 3-year-old's parents say they just add to their anguish.
There's a certain group out there who this is their job really, is to pick on a vulnerable family, and I'm sure after us they'll move on to another family.
And the villagers digging their own broadband network.
This village will be transformed from a location that has broadband that's not fit for purpose, in fact not available, to be literally the fastest village for broadband in the country.
They've been described as a club for sickos who distribute vile leaflets. Their members insist they're only trying to discover what happened to Madeleine McCann. But the parents of the missing youngsters say the so-called Madeline Foundation is hindering the search for their daughter and adding to their anguish. Simon Hare has been investigating.
Well, it's a Saturday afternoon and most people are busy enjoying their weekend. But somewhere here in Nottingham, a group of people have got together to discuss the Madeleine McCann case. Hello, Simon.
Secrecy surrounds what's billed as the annual conference of the self-appointed Madeline Foundation. They've said I can attend, but I have to wait for news of the location. I'm told to make my way to a hotel with conference facilities, but this proves to be just a meeting place. I'm then taken to the real venue, a room in this village hall at Nuttall. A member takes some photos, including one of me. Chairman Grenville Green from Nottingham is also happy to be pictured, and the organisation's secretary and co-founder, Tony Bennett, is keen to promote his new book, made up of selected extracts from the case files.
There were 19 people at the meeting. I was told that they'd come from all over the country and that one couple had even come from northern France. They didn't want cameras to come in, but they did allow me to sit there and take notes. They discussed many aspects of the McCann case, and they also sold me a copy of their new book. But at the moment, I still don't feel that I'm any nearer to understanding exactly what the Madeline Foundation is about.
Well, among those reporters was Simon Hare for East Midlands Today. He joins us now from Portugal. Simon,
but I do know something about the Madeleine McCann case.
Good evening, Anne. Yes,
I was part of the East Midlands Today team that covered the events in Portugal. I interviewed the McCanns in Praia de Luz.
It really does give you great strength, really, to see that everybody in the village is, giving us all their support and love and everything.
And 3 months later, I was in Portimao when they were made official suspects.
The crowd of onlookers, hundreds of people had turned out. Many booed Kate McCann as she arrived here. Now,
a development largely thanks to this man, the Portuguese detective Gonçalo Amaral. But he was taken off the case, and in 2008, the McCanns had their suspect status removed.
We welcome the news today, although it is no cause for celebration.
And won libel damages for some of the lurid press coverage they'd received. A year later, front page news of a different kind, thanks to the Madeline Foundation.
People living in Madeleine McCann's home village say that they are sickened that they're now being targeted by a campaign to reopen the case against her parents.
A group claiming to want justice for Madeleine says it believes she wasn't abducted. It's been sending hundreds of leaflets around the area calling for support.
It delivered 150 leaflets to homes in the McCann's own neighbourhood, repeating the now discredited Amaral theory that Madeleine had died in her parents' holiday apartment and they'd covered it up.
Now, the people here in Rothley who spoke to us today say they're horrified.
It's absolutely repugnant, I think, personally.
I just think it's sad and sick that people have got nothing else better to do with the time.
I would meet all of the 4 people who delivered the leaflets that day. Among them, Debbie Butler, the Foundation's former chairman and co-founder, who appeared on the BBC to justify their actions.
It's a nationwide campaign. We need to put the leaflets into as many doors as possible.
She's since fallen out with Tony Bennett and is no longer a member of the Foundation. but she agreed to meet me near her home in Kent.
Mr. Bennett decided that we would go to that area. I'd never been there. He'd been there before. I found out that he had been there before. He knew where we were going. I drove. We had Grenville Green with us and Helen Davies, his wife. We visited the farm that Kate had taken the children to and had some lunch there. Mr. Bennett leafleted there alone and instructed me to go and leaflet in the immediate area where the McCanns live, which I did with Helen. And then he told me that I must leaflet their road, which I did. I was doing it with Helen, but Helen's just legs went to jelly and she wouldn't do it, so I did. I didn't leaflet their own home at all.
Tony Bennett denies he told Debbie Butler what to do that day, but both were subsequently pursued by the McCanns' lawyers. And in November last year, Mr. Bennett assured the High Court he wouldn't distribute any more of the leaflets, or he could lose £50,000 and even go to prison for contempt of court.
About the Madeleine McCann case.
But by this summer, Tony Bennett was distributing a new leaflet. He's come to Bristol for what's billed as Gonzalo Amaral Awareness Day. He's accompanied by another foundation member who's a little camera shy.
You're hiding. It's all right, I'm going round this side of the pillar. I'm going round this side of...
There's some evil people in the street.
There are some evil people,
Very evil.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I think she's just been stolen.
You know, why did all these people...
Conspiracy theory about everything now, isn't there?
True, yeah, but many things. 9/11, yeah, there is. I mean, people think that we are representing the McCanns in some way.
Doesn't that worry you?
Not really, no, because it's a chance to explain to people what we're about and that there is a big mystery at the heart of this case.
I wouldn't dare say on record what I saw,
no.
I'd be sued.
The NSPCC say that we should never ever leave children of that age on their own, even for 30 seconds. You know.
But they did, and nobody had a right to take her anymore.
No, that's right. People will no doubt have been reading that leaflet as they pass around the town. Not one person's come back to complain at all and say this is outrageous.
But in the afternoon, there are a number of hostile reactions.
It just seems a bit hard to start a whole campaign against it when if she is abducted, they're clearly struggling dealing with the grief already.
The question is if she was abducted.
And you don't find what you're doing at all disrespectful?
You could call it disrespectful.
Well, I'm not going to read it because I think it's a little bit sick and very disrespectful. So
that's okay.
I think that's a bit distasteful.
I have a 2-year-old daughter, so you know, if I'd have lost my daughter like that woman has, I wouldn't want to think that somebody was out saying that in the street.